Alrighty. So I'm gonna present my screen. We'll head over to our social studies assignments. Okay. So it should be posted already. It is an assignment called 12 tables. It's under social studies. You should have a set of Google Slides and a PDF to look at for information. So I'm going to open up the Google slide and the PDF, and I will give you guys a minute or two to get there as well. I'm going to get everything zoomed in a little bit. Probably got to go to 100 to be able to read it. I don't know. Maybe your yeah, maybe your other thing is zoomed in. All right, so let's go ahead and get that pulled up, and then we will get going. So this one is kind of similar. Jada, mask. Alex, face forward. Yoshi, face forward today, please. Face forward. Thank you. So this one is similar to like the rules one that we did recently, where these are out of order, but there are rules that were happening in Rome. So this is almost like the laws of Rome that are on the PDF. So we're going to read through it first because it won't take long. It's just a few boxes. Rule number 1, rule number 2. When they say table, they just mean this is a rule. This is a law that you need to follow. Skylar, turn it off, please. Well, close your computer, please. So we're going to read through it, and then we will talk about which one. Like, so let's say it is the answer to this question is in table number 6. We're going to write 6, and then you guys are going to be responsible for answering the questions. Very similar to like what we did earlier this week. Do you guys remember that? Okay. So we're going to do that again. No, I was just, as an example. I don't know for sure. We're going to start by just reading through what the 12 tables are. So basically like the rules of it. It might even go in order. I don't know for sure. But we're going to start with table number 1. That's the top left over here. This says, yes. Okay, so there's 12 tables and 10 questions. So that means that not all of them are going to be used. Yoshi, face forward. So not all of them are going to be used. So like I said, we'll type out which one goes with what, and you guys will answer the questions. You guys done? Okay, table number 1 says, if you are called to court, then you are to go. So if you get called to court, you have to go. If you do not, you will be captured and brought before the court with force. That's still pretty similar nowadays. If you get called to court, if you don't show up, they will send police officers out to get you and bring you to court. You will go to jail if you don't show up in court. So that's still similar to nowadays.
Can you hide?
I mean, you can hide, but then you're breaking the law, like really breaking the law. And there's more things that you're going to have to go to court for later. So, so that matches. They might match. I don't know. We'll do it after to match them up. Table number 2 says that if your witness does not come to court, you can shout and yell outside his house for 3 days to summon him to appear. So if you don't show up to court, or someone that you need is supposed to show up to court and they don't come, you can go and stand outside their house and yell at them for 3 days until they go to court. That's what that one says. So you can just basically stand outside and go to court. What the heck, man? Go to court. All right. Our next one. Table number 3 says if someone owes you a debt, so someone owes you money, that person has 30 days to pay it. If he does not pay, you can enslave the debtor or sell him as a slave to recoup your debt. So if someone owes you money and they don't pay it to you in 30 days, you can basically sell that person or keep them as a slave. Yep. What do you mean if you make it up?
Like act like
I'm sure that people did act like people owed them stuff just to get slaves, but I don't know how that would work. I don't know. Okay, those of you that are talking are going to get written up real soon. I suggest you all face forward and pay attention. Table number 4. Part 1. If you have a child that is seriously deformed, he or she must be put to death. So that's not nice. Basically, if your kid doesn't look like it's supposed to look, they're going to kill it.
Why?
That's like the kid off of
Why?
Yeah. He doesn't actually look like that.
Yeah. Part number 2. If you can be free from your father if he sells you into slavery 3 times. So if your father was to sell you 3 times into slavery, then you don't have to go back to your father after you get out of slavery again because he doesn't own you anymore as a child. Yeah. These are some tough rules. Table number 5 in the middle right here. Number 1, all women, even those who are old and grown, must have guardians at all times. Essentially, a woman couldn't go anywhere without a man having to be there as well. They had to have someone with them. Yep. Number 2 says if you go insane, the nearest male relative will take your property. So if you go insane, they're just going to take your stuff and give it to the closest male to you. These are interesting rules. Like mentally crazy. I don't know. I don't know why they did any of this. Table number 6 says any and all agreements involving property then is bound by law. So if you make an agreement with somebody that's like, yeah, I'll give you this piece of pottery for some food, then it's like by law you have to trade it. So it's like, I don't know what happens if you don't. Number 2 on that one says no one, not even the builder, can remove the beams from buildings once they're erect. So once they build a building, you can't take any part of it apart. I don't understand some of these and why they have to be written into law.
Yeah.
But
No, like, why would they do that anyway? Some of these don't even need to be on law.
Table number 7 says you are responsible for repairing roads around your property. If you choose not to, others may bring their animals upon your land. I don't see how those relate to each other. If your roads are not correct, then I get to bring animals on your land. They don't really relate to each other at all. It doesn't make much sense, but that's the way it was. The next one, table number 8 in the middle, 8, 9, 8. Number 1, killing a thief inside your home is not a crime, and provided that he really was a thief. So if someone breaks into your house, you can kill them. But if they weren't really trying to steal anything, then that's not good. But also, how are they going to prove that he wasn't trying to steal anything if he's dead because you killed him?
I know how. If you kill him, you can just do it.
That's true. If you aren't sure if he was a thief, then just put something in his hand so it looks like he was a thief. But yeah, don't do any of these for real because these are ancient laws. You will get put in jail for these now. Number 2 says, if you chose to burn down your own home, you shall be put to death. Oh, I mean, why would you burn down your own house, though? I don't know. Because you've destroyed property? I don't know. Table number 9. You will be put to death for taking bribes or committing treason against your country. Do you guys know what treason means? Good. Treason is when you betray your country. You give away secrets that only people in your country should know, or like government secrets are traded to a different country. So treason is when you betray your country. which it makes sense that you would be put to death if you betrayed your country. Depending on the circumstances in the United States, depending on how bad of a thing that you do to betray the country, treason is still a thing. You can betray the country and you will be put in jail, potentially put on death row, depending on how bad you betrayed the country. Yes.
Like if someone like comes into the USA and they're not doesn't like do what they supposed to do, then
Like if they become a citizen?
yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that people betray their country, so I don't know all specifics. Table number 10 says, if your slave commits a crime, he or she will be punished, not you. So if you own slaves and they do something that's against the law, they will be punished, not you. Which I guess is actually fair for once. That one.
You could just like be like, go do that for me.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Table number 11. If you are a plebeian, you shall not marry a patrician, and vice versa. So if you are one of the poor people, you can't marry a wealthy person, and if you're wealthy, you cannot marry a poor person. That's the law. Vice versa means the opposite. So a plebeian cannot marry a patrician, and vice versa means the opposite. A patrician cannot marry a plebeian. I don't know. Yeah. A corpse is a dead body. Our last one, table number 12, says no corpses can be burnt or buried within the city. So you cannot burn or bury a dead body inside the city walls, I guess. And then, yeah, the last one, I don't, why? Women may not cry at funerals. I don't know. Yeah, these are some interesting laws, but I guess, yeah, they can cry when they get home, but they cannot do it when they're at the funeral. So let's go ahead and head over here.
I think the stupidest one is like if you don't fix your road, then other people can put your animal on.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, our next one, we need to go back to the thing, and we're going to write down which tables this is part of, and then you guys will answer the questions based on it. So number 1 says, if you are called to court, what are you supposed to do and what are the consequences? Which table would help you with that? Table number 1. Okay.
So far, so good. I want to.
Okay, that's for table number 1. Table number 2, or sorry, question number 2, says, how do the 12 tables resolve unpaid debts? It is not number 2. Number 2 talks about court. Number 3 talks about a debt and what happens if you don't pay your debt. So this one is number 3. Okay, I'm going to give you a second. Just make sure you guys are getting these down.
Oh, some of them are 2. Yeah. Like 3 and 5 are like 2 of them.
All right. So, number 1, you need to use the rules for table number 1 to help you answer the question. Number 2, you need to use the rules for table number 3. Let's scroll down and see. Number 3 says, what kind of powers do parents have over their children? And this is because of 2 tables. So we need to answer 2.
4 and 6.
4 and 6, that's what you guys think? So number 4 talks about some stuff about children. 5, 6. 6 doesn't talk about children.
What other time?
I know, right?
So I agree that number 4 is.
But what about 6 is 2, bro. I looked at it. Look at 6 again.
This is number 6. Well, the one about property and the one about building.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
4 right here.
Everything is
it's just number 4.
But it says and.
I know, but it might be number 4, 1, and 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You use table number 4, and there's 4, 1, and 4, 2. So this is 4-1. We'll just say that 4-I and 4-2. So it gives you both. I'm going to widen this just a little bit. You need to use both of those to figure out what powers are used, the parents have over their children. I put 4-capital I. Those are capital I's. Okay, so that's number 3. You're going to use table number 4, and you need to use 1 and 2 to answer the question. I made the box wider. Yeah. I also just made the box a little bit wider to fit it.
41 and 42.
Number 4 says, how are the issues of inheritance resolved when you go insane? So inheritance is who gets your stuff after you die. So after you go insane, what happens to your stuff? That goes with number 5. Good. So table number 5, and is it number 1 or number 2? 2. Table number 5, rule number 2 on that one. So 5, oh, not 2, sorry. 5-I, 2. 5-2.
The next one I think is the last one.
You are.
There's 2 of them.
All right. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Our next one, number 5. How were women treated unfairly in the 12 tables? Give 2 examples. Where can we talk about where women were treated unfairly? Madi? Good. What numbers are those in?
1 and 12.
So we have 5. 5-1 is one of them. And then Charlie said 12-2. Okay. 5-1 and 12-2. So on number 5, you should look at table number 5, rule number 1, and table number 12, rule number 1. Rule number 2, that's a 2. There's 2 there. You can't. It's hard to see, but there's 2. Yeah, it's just blue. It's kind of hard to see. All right, and next one. On slide number 2, we got 5 more questions to do really quick. Slide number 2, number 6 says, what responsibilities did owners of buildings and roads have to other people? We need to find 2 tables for this one.
Buildings and roads, the building one is where it's serious. No, I mean the road one is where, no. It's just for other people can put their animals on it.
Yep. So number 6-2 talks about the builders. So let's write that one first. 6-2 talks about the people that are building things and their responsibility. And what's the other one that talks about your roads?
6-1.
No, 6-1 talks about property, not roads. What's underneath it?
No, 7. 6 doesn't talk about it. Talks about it.
Talks about the buildings. 6.2 talks about the buildings. And then number 7 talks about your roads.
7 what?
There's only one thing in 7. So it's just 7. So 6.2 and 7.
That's so confusing.
You just look at table number 6 and the second one there.
Who was calling on the phone?
I don't know. It was a random number.
Oh,
All right. Number 7 says, if you kill a thief in your home, what penalties will you face? What table is that part of?
That was your turn again. Which one is it?
Table 8.
Table 8.
Number 1.
Good. Right here in the middle. Table 8. Not highlighting. There we go. Table 8, number 1 talks about killing a thief and what sort of consequences you will get. So 8 dash 1.
I always want to kill a thief.
Why?
Well,
I don't know. It's just for the.
Okay.
He's scary. He's scary. I know.
And number 8 says, your home is old and needs repairs badly. However, you just want to start over and build from scratch. You decide to burn down your home and start over. What penalties might you face? What table talks about burning down your home? Not number 7. There's one of the... No, it's one of the last couple. No. 8.
82.
8. 2.
82.
So this one is 8 dash 2. Okay, we just got 2 more, and then I will let you guys actually answer the questions for the rest of the time. Okay, number 9. If I were a patrician, one of the wealthy people, what would have been forbidden to me? Why do you think this was?
To get married.
To get, okay. To get married, yeah, well, you guys will answer it. What table will I find it in, Dylan? I heard number 11, good. 1-1. Number 11.
What was the penalty for one that was crying at funeral?
I don't think they talked about a penalty.
Yeah, they just said it's just illegal to do that. Can I do that?
All right, and then our final one.
You know what they probably did?
Huh.
They probably wasn't trying to get laws really, really fast.
Maybe. Our last one says, you are a city inspector. Your friend offers you a bribe to look the other way in regards to the poor construction of his home. You accept the bribe, so you have been bribed. What happens to you? What table will... Do you? I don't know, but what, for taking bribes, what table would you look for? This is table 10. Table 9 says you will be put to death for taking bribes. So that is table number 9. Okay. So now, can we stop talking over me? Because at this point, you guys are losing privileges like that. On slide number 1, let's just review the ones that you need so that you guys are all prepared. And you guys can start answering these questions if you already have it all written down. But on number 1, you need to use table number 1. That's the rule. Table number 1 is the rule. On number 2, you need to use table 3 to help you find the answer. On number 3, you need to use table number 4, answers 1 and 2. So 1 I is 1, 2 I's is 2. Okay. Table number 4, you need to use, question number 4, you need to use table number 5, number 2. What, Yoshi? quickly. On number 5, you need to use table number 5(1) and table number 12(2) to answer the question. Incomplete sentences, I don't think I've said that yet, but complete sentences, please. On slide number 2, for number 6, you need to use table 6(2) and table 7. On number 7, you need to use table 8(1). On number 8, you need to use table 8, number 2, to answer that question. On number 9, you need to use table number 11. And on number 10, you need to use table number 9. So, hopefully you have all of those. If you missed one, just let me know. I will show you. But your goal for the rest of the time is to finish it. Type out your answers there. Once